time to hand out some grades. What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video targeting, of course, some NBA, and here to give you guys my grades for every single NBA free agent signing in 2020. Well, not every single one, but all the relevant major ones. You get my point. So before we do so, if you guys are new to the channel, guys, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to the NBA season, so you're going to want to stay tuned and locked into the channel. And to do so, the best way is to subscribe to the channel, guys, and make sure that you have the post notifications turned on. Make sure you're following me everywhere, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, right? Do what you got to do. That's the best place to reach out to me. So, you see the board behind me. We're going to be going through all of those signings and grading them on the board. Let's get into it. All right, so here we go. We've got the letter grades A, B, C, D, and F, and the F is elevated here because of lighting, having some lighting issues, so I had to put it up here so you guys could tell what this is, but there we go. So A, B, C, D, and F. And so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start at the top with the most major, free agent signings and then kind of work our way down here. And one big name that has not still signed yet is Anthony Davis. I fully expect him to re-sign with the Lakers, but again, that's fine. We can do it without him, all right? Brandon Ingram got a contract extension with the Pelicans for a max contract. We know Brandon Ingram really improved a lot, so he won Most Improved Player. This was an easy decision for the Pels, so I'm going to give them an A for this one, all right? So let me actually do that, and I'm going to give BI, which is Brandon Ingram, an A here. This was a $58 million. If you guys see me looking over here, it's because I've got the signings all in front of me. $158 million deal for Brandon Ingram. Fred VanVleet re-signed with the Toronto Raptors on a 4-year, $85 million deal. So a little over $20 million a year. Again, Fred VanVleet was going to get this much money in free agency, and he's an important piece to the Raptors, and they were able to bring him back. And again, do I think Fred VanVleet is worth $20 million plus? Not really. But that's what the market would have given him. So for the Raptors, I think they made out pretty well in terms of not giving Fred VanVleet $120 million, something like that. So I think it's a solid deal. So I'm going to give the Raptors a B here for the Fred VanVleet signing. All right, moving on down. Gordon Hayward, 4 years, $120 million by the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, this was awful. This was just absolutely awful. Garbage. Move by the Charlotte Hornets, and you guys can't see this here, so I'm going to write it here. Gordon Hayward. That was just an absolutely awful signing. F all the way around. I don't know why you would pay $30 million a year for Gordon freaking Hayward. And they had to waive Nicholas Batum and take on some salary there, so it's really like $40 million. I don't get it. Awful move. All right, Bogdan Bogdanović agreed to a 4-year, $72 million offer sheet from the Atlanta Hawks. The Kings have an opportunity to match. So 4 years, $72 million. That's a decent chunk of change for Bogdan Bogdanović. For the Hawks, though, I think he's a nice young player. And to be honest, I like Bogdan. So I'm going to say this is a B. If he does, of course, if the Kings don't match that offer. Christian Wood, 3 years, $41 million. Now, this was initially a 3 years, $27 million deal with the Houston Rockets, and that would have been a steal. I mean, $9 million a year for Christian Wood, who was supposed to get like $15 million, somewhere along those lines on the market. That would have been a steal for the Rockets, but of course, I think Christian Wood realized that, and they redid the deal. He got 3 years, $41 million, and I think that's still solid. So I'm going to give the Rockets here a B for this signing. I think Christian Wood's a solid player, and he's young, up and coming, and I don't think it was that egregious considering what the market was going to be like for him. Okay, Joe Harris, 4 years, $75 million. I mean, this is just awful. I'm going to give this one an F here. I like Joe Harris, but he's not worth that much amount of money. I'm sorry. 4 years, $75 million for Joe freaking Harris. Like more than $15 million plus. Like, are you kidding me? That's like 17, 18 million. No, that's enough. That's a bad job by the Brooklyn Nets. All right, Danilo Gallinari, 3 years, $60 million. A little over $20 million a year for Gallo. Not a big fan of that. I'm going to give that one a D to the Atlanta Hawks for the Gallinari signing. I was not a big fan of it. I think I would rather develop and give the playing time to the young guys that they have, than throw all that money at Gallo, who's injury prone and just really does one thing well. Goran Dragic, 2 years, $38 million. I think that's a solid move for the Miami Heat. 2-year deal, not a long-term contract. I like that. I'm going to give that one an A for Goran Dragic. All right, moving on. The next deal we've got is Jeremy Grant to the Detroit Pistons for 3 years, $60 million. Yeah, that's going in the F category. I'm sorry. Jeremy Grant's a nice young player. He's good at what he does, but he is not worth $20 million a year. Are you kidding me? For Jeremy Grant, I'm sorry. That was an awful signing for the price. I like Jeremy Grant, the player. The price, just awful. Davos Bertons, 5 years, $80 million. F. All right, again, Bertons is a great shooter. Nice young player. He's not worth $80 million. Oh, no way around it. This was a flat-out overpay by the Washington Wizards. And I'm not sure if there was any other team that was going to give him $80 million. So the Wizards might have been bidding against themselves, and they lost. That was an awful signing, okay? Montrezl Harrell, 2 years, $19 million. That's a steal. All right, that's an absolute steal. That's an A signing by the Lakers. I think Montrezl Harrell, I thought, would have gotten, paid on the open market. But instead, he just gets the mid-level exception for 2 years. Oh, this is an absolute steal by the Lakers. Marcus Morris, 4 years, $64 million to re-sign with the Clippers. I'm going to give this one a C for Marcus Morris here. I like him. He's solid. But again, 4 years, $64 million. There was no bargain. It's about what he's worth. So average, all right? Moving on, Serge Ibaka, 2 years, $19 million. This is a steal for the Clippers, okay? Serge Ibaka is one of the most underrated big men. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range. He's a great defender, great shot blocker. He is an upgrade over Herald for the Clippers. That's an absolute steal of a signing. Marc Gasol, 2 years, $5.3 million. I mean, I would say this is a pretty solid move for the Lakers. Now, Marc Gasol is washed up. He is washed up. He's on the last leg. So, again, I would have given this one an A if Marc Gasol would have probably gotten like a minimum contract, but I guess he's worth a little bit more than that. This could be an A, but just because Gasol is washed up and doesn't really have much left in his career at this point, I'll give this one a B. Solid signing, nothing to write home about, but a B. Kentavious Caldwell Pope, 3 years, $40 million. This one also deserves a B because KCP was very solid for the Lakers. He deserved to get paid. I think they did him right. This is a good, solid deal for both sides. All right, moving on to DeAnthony Melton, 4 years, $35 million. Yeah, I'm not sure if DeAnthony Melton's worth that much. I'm going to give this one probably a C. Again, C or D here for DeAnthony Melton. Paul Millsap, 1 year, $10 million deal. I think that's a fairly good deal for the Nuggets. So I'm going to give Paul Millsap here. Oops. Paul Millsap, 1 year deal. Especially after losing Jeremy Grant. Yeah, he's a nice young, not young. He's a nice veteran piece to keep around. And especially on a 1 year deal. Malik Beasley, 4 years, $60 million. I'm going to give this one a F. Malik Beasley is a nice player, nice young up-and-coming player. He's not worth $60 million. I'm sorry. Jakob Poeltl, 3 years, $27 million. That's about $9 million a year. I'll give this one a C. Poeltl's a nice player. Nothing to write home about. He's decent. Aaron Baines, 2 years, $14 million to the Raptors. By the way, Malik Beasley was with the Timberwolves. Jakob Poeltl, the Spurs. And Aaron Baines signed with the Raptors, 2 years, $14 million. I think it's a solid signing for the Raptors here for Aaron Baines. I'm going to give that one a B. Tristan Thompson, 2 years, $19 million. I think that's a solid signing. I like that one a lot for the Celtics. They needed a presence in the interior after getting rid of Enes Kanter. They used the mid-level exception. I like that for Tristan Thompson. Jay Crowder, 3 years, $30 million deal with the Suns. I think that's a solid move for Jay Crowder. I will give that one a B. All right, let's go a couple more here. We've got Derrick Favors, 3 years, $27 million to sign back with the Utah Jazz. I think that's okay. I'll give that one a C for Derrick Favors. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through these to get you some big names. 4 years, $52 million for Jordan Clarkson. I think that's a little bit of an overpay here, so I'm going to give that one a C for the Utah Jazz. Wesley Matthews, 1 year, $3.6 million. That's a great deal for the Lakers. Wesley Matthews, a great 3-and-D guy. That's what the Lakers need and want. 2 years, $15 million for Rajon Rondo to the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, that's a steal for the Atlanta Hawks, who could use his veteran presence, okay? Moving on down here, we've got a couple others. Chris Dunn, 2 years, $10 million. That's a great signing by the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm going to give that one an A as well. So that was a fantastic signing for the Atlanta Hawks. Avery Bradley, 2 years, $11.6 million to the Miami Heat. I think that's a solid signing, so I'll give that one a B. Avery Bradley to the Miami Heat. Jeff Teague, 1 year deal to the Celtics. Dwight Howard, 1 year, $2.6 million to the Philadelphia 76ers. I'll probably give that one a B. Here he's going to back up and B. I guess that's solid. Garrett Temple to the Bulls, 1 year, $5 million. So I'll give that one a B as well. Nothing to write home about, but a solid signing. Let's move on down here. And the rest of them, I mean, pretty insignificant. Markieff Morris, Austin Rivers, guys like that. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. The major free agent signings here. And, again, there were, other free agent signings like a Jason Tatum for a contract extension and a De'Aaron Fox and a Donovan Mitchell, which all fall into this category with BI because they're no-brainer signings. But these were my grades for all of the major ones. So a lot of Fs here, a lot of Fs, but also a lot of good deals here as well. And not that many, C and D type word deals. So there you have, folks, my thoughts on grades on all the major free agent signings. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. As always, thanks for watching.